Happy Tuesday to you. I want to welcome you to another episode of Moments of Clarity. Thank you so much. It's your boy Charlie Tubbs III, aka Gentray, and I'm here in the building with boy Elijah Blue. Elijah Blue, how you feeling, bro?
Man, I'm blessed and highly favored, bro. Happy to be here.
That's what's up, man. We're gonna have a lot of cool conversations today. So listen, tune in, definitely share the live, send us some likes. You can comment with us, and we'll talk back with you. We're gonna have a great episode today. We're just gonna have a grown man conversation. We're gonna talk to Elijah about his career, where he come from, and where he is today, and where he's going. So tune in, strap in. We're gonna have a great conversation today on this episode of Moments of Clarity. Let's go. Elijah Blue, man, thank you so much for taking time out of your Tuesday to hang out with me. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so very
No
much.
problem, no problem.
So listen, so man, first of all, I like to start my broadcast, especially when I have an opportunity to have a conversation with a black man in the world today. There's so much crazy stuff going on. I
Yeah.
always like to check in, and my check-in is just asking, "Hey, man, how are you doing?"
Man, I first though, first foremost, I always like to say I'm blessed and highly favored because even when I'm not, that helps me be blessed and highly favored. You know what I'm saying? Even when things aren't going the the way that I want them to go, keeping that positive mindset allows me to continue to be that. But as of right now, man, I feel really good. I actually feel blessed and highly favored. I feel like I'm in a really good spot.
That's
Especially being in Canada, man. There's a lot of stuff I've been avoiding being out this way.
That's what's up. That's what's up. But so watching the news, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on a little south of you
Yeah.
in this country, and but you're an American, so you're from American, so you was born in Brooklyn, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, born in Brooklyn. I was raised in Virginia though, so I did a lot of my high school in there. But my people's is out in Maryland right now. So when a lot of stuff is going on, I really be concerned about them. I'm like, I'm calling them, checking on them. Like, yo, I seen what happened on the news. Is that really what's going down? What's going
Yeah,
on
yeah,
over
yeah.
there?
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. So let's talk about. So for people that may not know Elijah, Eli, so let people know. So where did you get your roots from? When did you start? How did you know that you wanted to be a basketball player? Let's talk about all that stuff from your roots to where you are right now.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So I actually, grew up as a fat kid. I didn't play no sports. I wasn't into no sports. Like it wasn't until I got to like middle school that I even had a little bit of interest in it, and it was more so because that was what you're supposed to do in PE. In PE they asked you doing different things. You did dodgeball, you did, you know, ultimate frisbee or whatever. We did basketball one time, and I was like, I couldn't go between the legs. Like that was my main thing. I saw dudes out there going between the legs. I'm like, oh, I want to do that. So I just went home, and I remember at the time I was living in South Carolina, so I went to South Carolina for a little bit too. So I went from New York, Brooklyn, got up. My mom's got us out of Brooklyn, and we went to South Carolina for 2 years, and then I basically grew up, did all high school in Virginia. So at the time I was in South Carolina, and I remember going home and just finding a basketball and just trying to go between the legs. That's all I did. I just walked down the street and I tried to go between the legs as many times as I could, try to get it in a row. And that kind of started like my love for the game because I got good at it. Once I realized that I could get good at something, like I could put my mind to something to get good at it, it was kind of over. Like that was the first thing I ever did. I put my mind to and got good at. So from there, it just kind of went to, me going to middle school in Virginia, and then one dude just being like one day, hey, you kind of tall. Why don't you try out for the basketball team? And I'm like, I don't know, bro. I don't really know. He's like, yeah, just come try. What you got to lose? And I'm like, all right. I went, I put up for the tryout, and I made it. I was not the most skilled guy there at all, but I had a lot of heart. So that definitely got me in the door.
And then so from there, so I like that you said you grew up as a fat kid and you overcame those odds
Mhm.
as a fat kid, and so what did you do? So when you started playing basketball in high school, were you still a fat kid, or did you slim up, or what happened? What was the
It
transition?
kind of like, I guess it's because most people lose their baby weight. You know what I'm saying? Like they always say, like when you're younger, especially in black households, oh, that's just baby weight. Don't worry about the baby. That's gonna fall off, right? So I still had that baby weight because I wasn't doing nothing. And so once I got like moving and started really getting into
Oh,
sports and getting into basketball, it just went away. You know what I mean? Like I start slimming up. getting a little taller, and it just kind of, just over the time, we were doing practices and doing a lot of running, it just started melting away. And then into high school, then I started like lifting weights and stuff, and then I was able to like kind of tone up. But the baby fat went away once I started really playing basketball full time.
That's what's up. So you started playing basketball full time, and that's how you shredded your weight down. And then, so you went to high school. Were you in Brooklyn when you went to high school and played b-ball in high school there?
No, so I didn't. The crazy thing about it is I didn't play no basketball in Brooklyn or in New York at the time and be living there. It wasn't until after I left, and then me going back home to visit family and going in the summers that I really started getting my Brooklyn ball in. You know what I mean? Like once I left, I mentioned earlier, my mom's got us out of New York when I was in like fourth, fifth grade, and so I was actually going through like it was weird in New York at the time. Anyways, I don't know how it is. A lot has changed now. A lot has changed now, but at the time, the taller you were, the more talent you had, the more potential you had, made you more of a target. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't crazy tall, but I was taller than most people in my class, and so that alone made me a target. And I'm the kind of person that mind my business. Like I just mind my business, do my thing, and I'm very much to myself. And so me mind my business being to myself, but being tall caused me a lot of attention. And so a lot of dudes would try to like go after me, pick on me, get their brothers to try to come, fight me after school, whatever the case was. And so basically the teacher, like after being in like, I don't know how many fights I got in like fourth grade, teacher put my mom aside and was like, yo, if you don't get him out of New York right now, I'm afraid of what he's going to turn into. I'm afraid of what he might, how he might respond to all this.
Mm.
And so, that was enough for my mom to be like, all right, I'm gonna break the trend. I'm gonna cut against the grain, and we gonna leave New York because everybody was telling her to stay. You know what I mean? Like once you in a certain place like that, you kind of in a box. So everybody, that's all you know.
Right, right,
And
right,
so my
right.
mom cut against that grain, and she was like, nah, I'm about to get out of here. So she literally went to South Carolina by herself. Went and stayed in like what is it called? A shelter. So went and stayed in a shelter for like
Wow,
2-3 months, and found a job, worked enough to get a place, and then we came out there and joined her. But she was gone for like like 7 months, and I was just
wow.
with my step pops while she was working that out. And mind you, that everybody was telling her to stay. They was like, "Yo, don't go. Like, you don't know what's in South Carolina. You don't know what's over there. Like, this is your home. Like, they told her all of that." But I'm so grateful that she made that move because that literally changed the whole projection of my life.
That's wild. So okay, fine. So you moved to North Carolina, and so that put your whole life on a new direction. And so you were you playing bass? So you were playing b-ball in North Carolina. That's where your
No,
start for
this
basketball
was
started.
South Carolina. So we went to
South Carolina.
Sumter,
Okay.
South Carolina, and then we went to Columbia, South Carolina, because I was there for 2 years. And the story I told you of me going home and going between the legs was the first time I ever picked up a ball. Like all before that, I didn't know there was no sports. There was nothing like that. I was doing no running. I was doing none of that, yo.
How old were you
First time I
then?
picked it up.
How old were you then?
This was I left me in fourth grade, so this is sixth grade, fifth and sixth grade.
Okay,
And I'm gonna say in fifth or sixth grade, you like 10 or 11,
gotcha. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's about
probably
right.
even younger, probably even just a little bit younger. I think I'm 10. I think I'm 10 exactly in sixth grade. But yeah, it was sixth grade, so 10 years old is when I started. About the first time I ever picked up a basketball and just found interest in it. And even then, I wasn't into it. Even then, I wasn't like crazy about it. I just only did it because that's what we was doing in PE. But I had that ball, so I was going between the legs, and that was really all I did. But I still had no interest in sports. It wasn't until I moved to Virginia. When I moved to Virginia, that's when it all changed.
Gotcha. That's what's up. So were you playing? So were you playing? Did you play high school ball or no?
Yes,
So you
yes,
played high school ball in Virginia though.
yes.
Okay, gotcha. So from playing high school ball in Virginia, did you get scholarships to go to college, or what college did you go to? End up going to?
So my problem in school was my grades.
Gotcha.
Grades was a big thing for me. I always did exactly what I needed to do to pass. I was never like trying to really excel.
Yeah, just enough, right?
Yeah, just enough. Like I'm straight C student. Like you said, I need to turn this in. What do I need to pass? All right, I'm gonna get that.
I
That's
got you.
that's the kind of student I was. So that didn't really transcend well for me in terms of getting scholarships because when coaches did kind of recruit me, they was like, oh, he's talented. We like what he has to offer, but what's his grades like? And as soon as they found out my grades, it deterred them because if they seen that right now, I'm a C student just doing what they need to get by. And to them, they're like, okay, well, if I recruit this kid, then he's just going to be doing the exact same thing in college, is doing what he can to get by. And I don't know if I'm willing to take that chance. So
Yeah.
that messed up a lot of opportunities for me, because I did have some opportunity. I was had an opportunity to go to George Mason. George Mason was recruiting me, which is a D1 in Virginia, and another school called University of George Washington was recruiting me. But when they saw my grades, they kind of fell off, and so I took the JUCO route.
What is the JUCO route?
So the JUCO route, basically, in layman's terms, is all the people who don't got the grades but are talented. All the people who don't got the grades but are talented enough to still play. You kind of go here to, get your grades up and prove that you can still, be a student athlete.
Got you. I mean, this is already a great conversation, and most people probably are wondering because most of what I have on this platform are artists or somebody in the creative space. But what people don't understand also is whatever skill that you have, as you develop it, it actually becomes your artistry.
Hmm.
And so I would say, I would venture to say very confidently that Elijah, you are an artist as well, because you're just skilled at what you do. I saw them videos, bro, and so and then also another thing about me too is I grew up playing basketball a lot. We had a goal in our backyard, and obviously doing PE. Man, I was forward. I played forward and post people up, and was like, "Come on through, let's go, let's go."
Right.
And so I have a lot of passion for the game. Not as much as you, but I still have passion for the game. And I still got a mean jumper to this day. I got to get my cardio up,
Right. Right.
obviously. Listen, the last time I tried to play b-ball, I was in Chicago. I never forget. A couple of my friends had they knew somebody at the school, and the principal says, okay, they can go in, they can come in and play. There's probably what happened. Uh,
Okay, you're back now. You back.
Yeah, so let's team up and let's play b-ball. And we were there in Chicago. We teamed up, and man, bro, when I say it got crazy really really fast because we were playing full court, not half court.
Right.
So as soon as somebody passed me the ball, I'm like, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's oh wait a minute, stop. Let's not go anywhere. So bro, I passed that ball off and got completely off the court. I'm like, hey, I feel old now.
Yeah, it's a little different when you start running up and down the court, man. Look, it's like that when you doing this professionally. It's the same way. You take 2 weeks off. You get in a space where you're trying to go full 5-on-5. Man, you run out of gas real quick.
Yeah, man. And so I have to so I know that especially if I want to play basketball and not just be out there playing horse all day. Man, what's happening with Elijah? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So high school in Virginia, and so did you get recruited by a college even though you didn't have the grade? How did
So,
you?
so what ended up happening was I got to my senior year, because basically how it works is everybody has like the same. Most hoopers have the same dream of journey that they want to follow. Is you play high school ball, you go to a top Division I college, and then you play well there, and you go to the draft. That's every hooper's like ideal scenario.
Gotcha.
So if you're not getting recruited by like even like your sophomore year of high school, it's not looking too good for you. If you get to your junior year of high school and nobody's on your radar, oh, it's not looking too good for you. If you get to your senior year, it's like people are telling you, well, you probably shouldn't play. Like, it's probably not in your cards to go play college. So, I was getting the recruitment, but I wasn't landing anything because I didn't have the grades. So all that told me was that, oh, I can still play this game. I'm just not I'm just not in a place right now where my grades are right. So I just got to get my grades right. And going the JUCO route is a way that I could do that. So what I did was I took my high school film, and because I don't have I gotta kind of give you this backstory. My pops was never in my life. My step pops stepped up to the plate and did the best he could to raise me. But at the end of the day, that wasn't my pops. You know what I mean? He did whatever he could to raise me, but he wasn't my pops. So he didn't really relate to a lot of stuff that I was doing. And so my mom was doing a lot of working, so she wasn't able to really be around either. So a lot of my basketball success came from me, just my pure will of wanting to get it done. And so I took some of my high school film, And this is even after asking my coach. Like I was like, Coach, is there any way that you can help me this, that, and the third? And they kind of like shrugged me off. But I took my film, I chopped it up, and I put it on this site called Be Recruited. And basically, it was a site where like college coaches come in, they check out your film, whatever you got on there, and they either send you a message or say they're interested or whatever the case is. You also put your SATs on there, your ACTs, so it's really easy for coaches to come through and say, okay, I want this guy or whatever the case is. So that's exactly what I did. Chopped it up, put it on there. I had a couple schools hit me back, junior college hit me back, one in New York and one in Virginia. And so I went to the one in New York and went to the one in Virginia. The one in New York didn't pan out, but the one in Virginia did. And so even when it comes to junior colleges, there are tiers to that. So there's like a Division I junior college, a Division II, Division III. This junior college was a Division III, which means it was the lowest possible division junior college you can go to. And all that really means is that they don't have the funds to have bigger stuff. You know what I mean? They don't have like a school bus, so they don't have like that's really what it means between the divisions. So he's like, I'm interested in your video, nice video. I'm interested in you. You should come down for a workout. This, that, and the third. So I went to the workout, did really well. Offered me a scholarship to play there, and then I end up going there for the season. And this was in 2010 at a place called Wickville Community College.
Okay, great. And so you graduated from there, and then so where did you go from there?
So what actually happened at that school was I went there, so 2010, and I played in the first 8 games of that season. I started and everything. I was started. My grades were at 4.0. I was doing everything I was supposed to do. Everything was good. But the coach was playing me out of position. So he was playing me in a position that I don't play. And I felt as if he was using me. I was sacrificing my game for the betterment of the team, pretty much. I was sacrificing my individual success for the team, and I didn't feel as if he had me in mind when he was doing that. It was more so like, okay, you're in this role, you're doing well at it, so this is where I'm going to put you, and this is what it's kind of going to be. So as a young kid, I was upset about that. I was like, look, I don't, he's coaching me in his way, playing me out of position, and have these expectations of me in this position that I shouldn't really be feeling. And so I got upset, and I emailed a whole bunch of other schools like, look, I'm going to transfer out of here next year. Do you have space to stand in third? I didn't know at the time that if you reach out to another school, they're obligated to reach out to your coach and tell them, yo, do you know this player is reaching out to me or whatever the case is. So they reached out to him. He got letters and stuff like that. And so he pulled me to the side and said, hey, what's all this about? I expressed to him, look, I got upset. I feel like he's playing me out of position. So I reached out to these other schools thinking I'm going to transfer. And, me telling him that, I thought he would say, oh, look, I understand you got upset, but look, you don't have to be like that. This is what it is. You're going to get to where you get, just encourage me that everything's going to be all right. He did a complete opposite of that and was like, all right, well, you're gone. You're off the team. And I'm like, what? Like I'm off his team? He's like, yeah, you're done. Like I don't have space for you. I don't have time for that. And that was wild to me because I was the most disciplined player he had. I had my grades right. Like he never had to worry about me. But he let me go so quick.
Gotcha.
So that put me in a space to where I went back home. And then in order to stay eligible, you still have to get your grades done. So even if you're not playing, I still needed my grades to be eligible for the next semester wherever I went.
Gotcha. So then, so what was your transition from there? So when you were off the team, then what happened next?
So I had to go home, and in order for me to stay eligible, I had to try to get into winter classes. Winter classes didn't work. I wasn't able to get in there in time because of the timing of when I went back to the house. So that meant I had to take summer classes. If I really wanted it, I had to take summer classes, like six. How many credits was it? 3, 6, 9. I had to take 9 credits or something, or 12 credits. I had to take 12 credits and pass those 12 credits with at least a 2.0 in order to be eligible for a team that I didn't even know if I was going to play yet. I didn't know who I was going to play. I was in contact with nobody, but I knew that I wanted to play. In order for me to do that, I needed to be eligible. So I really went to school, to community college, from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day in the summertime to do those courses and be eligible. I wasn't driving. I had to take a bus. Like I really was committed. I got up every day, got on the bus at like 7 a.m., made it to the school, stayed there all day, got on the bus, came back to the house. And I did that for like a solid 2-3 months.
Okay.
And
And go ahead.
from there, I this is when I met an ex girlfriend of mine, and we had kind of had a relationship. And she moved to the other coast. She moved to the West Coast and went to Boise State. And so we
Right.
was kind of doing like a little long distance relationship thing. And so I'm like, I try to get closer to her. So I'm like, let me check out some junior colleges out there. And what happened, it was, long story short, I found a junior college in Ontario, Oregon, and I went out there and tried out, and he offered me a scholarship on the spot. He was like, "Oh yeah, you're a solid player. I definitely want you to come back here in the fall or the winter or whatever. So here's a scholarship. Go handle your paperwork and basically report back here in when school starts."
So you're Oregon State, and then what's your next step?
From Oregon, the crazy thing is this story goes downhill until it starts going up.
Okay.
It's a lot of downhill. And so from
But
Oregon,
so let me say the reason why the reason why I want you to communicate it, one, because I think people need to hear that. I think people need to know that, especially people, because I mean later on I may have you to talk to encourage people that aspire to play basketball, and they need to know the ropes. They need to know how this thing. They need to know all the things that go into it. That nothing happens overnight. That
right?
life does come with struggle, and struggle is not a bad thing. I think struggle is necessary. Struggle makes you better.
Yeah,
It's well put like this: struggle is designed to make you better.
absolutely,
Struggle is
absolutely.
designed to make you better. We have daily opportunities that we have to choose. We have to choose whether we learn from this situation, allow it to make us better, or we become bitter. And when you become bitter, you become toxic. And obviously, when you're toxic and when you're bitter, there's nothing coming out of you, and there's nothing coming into you either.
Yes,
So you become almost like a wasteland. So I want to encourage people to understand that life comes with challenges. It's supposed to come with challenges. Embrace those challenges. Let them make you better, and never allow any situation to make you bitter. And so that's what I'm loving about your story, Eli. Is that, man, all these situations you just took and said, oh, okay, that's what we're doing. All right, bet, let's go. I'm on to the next opportunity. I'm keeping it pushing. I'm keeping it moving, and that's the grind you have to really need. Well, that's the grind that you need to really be successful. So keep going, bro. This is great. Eli, you there? Elijah, can you hear me? Eli, you there? Eli. Oh man. But listen, so that's the most important, guys, that we understand the importance of making sure that we embrace everything that we go through in life. That's what life is all about. Life is about trials. Life is about situations. If there are things that can go wrong, sometimes they will go wrong. I think you become better by being able to temper yourself in these moments. One, not to panic. One, because at the end of the day, you have to always remain in control. You have to always remain in a space where you are conscious of what's going on. And then also, you have to be strong enough to bounce back. And so I've had several challenges in my life. There were several things that happened to me that actually, I've actually lived through things that I know people died in. I've lived through certain levels of trauma and disappointment that people have given up and just said, "Forget it, f life." And so I know the importance of bouncing back. I know the importance of staying clear up here, keeping hold to your sanity. That's most important. At the end of the day, your mind is all you have. You cannot lose that. You can allow any situation to make you lose it. You've got to make sure that you always remain in control of your faculties, because I'm telling you, life is, it literally is 10% of what happens to us and 90% of how we respond to it. So the wisdom is how. So my question to you is, how are you responding to life? Yeah, I know life is challenging, life is hard, life is tough, but how are you responding to it? Because I'm going to say this to you again, where your where your energy goes, that go you. Wherever you put your energy in, that's your life. And so when you give your energy over to stuff that's not, adding value to you, man, you're losing life hours. So stuff happens. You just got to respond to it the right way, and you got to make conscious decisions in these moments to respond the right way. So I appreciate Elijah's story. We had some technical difficulties, but he's going to come back to us. I'm going to text him right now, just tell him to log back on. I'm not sure what happened with him technically. Yeah, he's coming back right now. So, but it's important that we all respond the right way. It's important that we get up. We may get knocked down. You got to get right back up and keep that grind going. Because I'm telling you, it's only a matter of time. It's not a matter of if. It's just a matter of time. And when time aligns back with you, you want to make sure that you are positioned in a place where you're ready for anything that could come, that you're ready for anything, whether it's blessing or even if it's another challenge. That I'm ready for it. I've been through this. I can go through whatever I got to go through because we're all in life class. We're all in life class. And these are lessons. And these lessons, as we learn these lessons will turn into blessings if we hold on. I'm telling you, it's real talk. I know this for a FACT fact. That's facts on printer, baby. I'm telling you. If you hold on and stay true to you, stay true to your authentic steps, your authentic self, stay true to you. Don't compromise who you are. Um, don't compromise who you are. Stay true to you. In these instances, we see. I love Elijah was at a school, and he said he felt like he was taken advantage of, and he didn't like that. So he planned his exit strategy. That's dope. That's what you got to do. That's what you all have to do. You have to plan your exit strategy. Some of you may be in situations right now and you may be frustrated. Some of you, I promise you, I said this to Elijah when we were on a private call, but I'm telling most of you don't even realize this that COVID-19, this whole pandemic, has been a blessing and a curse for a lot of you. All right. It's been a blessing and a curse. When you can see it that way, you're going to see that there's a blessing in it as well because at the end of the day, it's important that we learn how to reinvent ourselves. And I think this was the opportunity that COVID-19 and this pandemic gave some of us the opportunity to reinvent ourselves. And it's important. Some of you right now that are watching that's watching this podcast, I'm telling you, you have an opportunity right now to reinvent yourself. There are people that are going to school, getting degrees. There are people that are reinventing themselves. And watch this. Some of you are realizing that all this time you've been working for people or working for companies that don't value you. And some of you are realizing that right now you've been the boss this whole time. You got vision, you got inspiration, you have aspirations to start your own business, and this is the perfect opportunity for you to invest in you. The reason why I've been as successful as I have been is because I've always betted on me. I will never ever allow anybody, I don't care what company that I work for, and I thank God I don't have to work for no company no more. I just work for CT3. I just work for Gentray. I don't have to. I don't have to. I don't have to succumb to all of that. Yeah, I make the rules. I set the tone. I set the tone for my businesses. I set the tone for the things that I want to do. Some of you are getting that revelation that is frustrating, and the frustration that you have. Anytime you're frustrated, that is an indicator that something is wrong. Anytime there's frustrations there or there's pain in your life, that is an indicator that something is wrong. I got you, Eli. I see you. There's an indicator that something is wrong. And so anytime there's frustration or pain in your life, that's an indicator that something is wrong. And it should move you to action, right? It should move you to action. And so the actionary steps that we should make should be the steps that we make to change our situation for the better. So I mean, Eli's story is beautiful because it talks about the challenges that he had in his life that he faced, but then it also talked about him not just sitting there and allow life to beat him up, but he picked himself up and did something different and changed the whole trajectory of his life. And so I think that's dope. And so I want to continue this conversation with my boy Eli, who's back. Bro, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened technology wise, but it's technology. It's not 100%. It ain't perfect. But guess what? We good. We're able to bounce back and continue these conversations. And so I appreciate you, bro. Your story is already in a lot of ways already inspirational. And so I hope those of you that are watching, I hope you all can grasp from this. I hope you all can grab something from this. Things happen to everybody. Life happens to everybody. It really, really does. In those moments, you have an option A and an option B, and we're gonna pick right up where Eli left off. You have an opportunity and an option A. The option A is this: I'm gonna make a decision to be better, or we can choose the other one, and the other one is just to be bitter. And I'm telling you, no, listen, nobody wants to hear their bitterness. It's toxic, right? It's all designed to make you better. It really is orchestrated. Everything that we go through, everything we get frustrated about, it's all really designed to make us better. So, Elijah, continue telling us about this story and how this story and your life journey has made you better for who you are today.
Absolutely. Well, first, before I even get there, what's your sound? You doing that little choppy thing again? You doing that little robot, like you sound like a robot on my side.
Oh, well, I'm good
Oh,
on my.
there it is. There,
Okay.
that's crazy. Every time I say something, body go right away.
Well, I think it's just us coming together when
Oh,
once to connect. Yeah, it's technology. It's not 100%, but we good. Let's go.
okay, cool. Yeah, I just want to, because I kind of made out a little bit what you said. I feel like you said you either got option A or option B in terms of life when something happens to you. And for me, I live by that. It's like I don't. Well, for me, it's only option A because I can't fold. I can't fold. There's no such thing as folding for me. So I'm option A all the time. But man, so where was I? Where was I at in the story? I was talking about how I was in summer classes and
Yeah,
uh,
yeah. Pick up right there. You good? Yeah,
okay, yeah, I did the summer classes. I went out to the school in Oregon. I made that squad, and then that's right. Okay, yeah, went to school in Oregon. He offered me a scholarship, and he basically was like, come back ready to go. And so that whole summer, I spent that entire summer like working out and working out to the best of my ability. I thought I was going hard. Every day I was running, getting up, running hills, doing balling. I was in the gym 2 times. I was off court workouts, on court workouts, like 2 times a day, weight room, all that. I was doing everything I possibly could to get ready because I felt like this was the opportunity. And so when I pulled up to the school, and at the same time, mind you, like I'm learning about all this as I go because most, not all, but most athletes who are aspiring to be, NBA players or be really good basketball players have that mentor in their corner, that person in their side who's either been there before and is like, look, this is the way you do it. This is the ropes, kind of giving them some things, some ins and outs of the game and how it works. Even if it's not a father figure, it could be, or it's not their father exactly. It could be their coach, or it could be, their uncle, somebody who's like really played the game.
yeah,
Nobody
that's
in my
dope.
family has ever played the game like this. Like
Right.
let alone sports. Nobody in my family went to college and graduated. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody's ever did that. So I was really breaking a lot of barriers down by even doing what I was doing. So I was learning as I went. And
Yeah,
so
that's dope.
when I got there, and when he offered me the scholarship, I was under the impression that I was one of the main guys. When he told me this, he's like, "Yo, you're good. Here's your scholarship. I can't wait for you to get back." He basically sold me the dream. So when I get up to the school, I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be me and like 8 other guys or something like that." And this how this year gonna go. Tell me why, Gentry. I pull up to this school. I get to the dorms or whatever. I unpack my stuff. We get to the first day of practice. We about to go meet the team. You know, 2 dudes walk in. I'm like, all right. 3 dudes walk in. I'm okay. 4 or 5 dudes walk in. I'm okay. That gotta be it. It's like 10 people now. Another 3 walk in. I'm like, all right, we at 13 now. Another 3 walk in. All right, we at 16 players now. Another 3 walk in. We at 19 now. I'm like, well, these players, this can't be all the players. What's going on?
Right.
And by time we got to the beginning of the meeting started, there was 24 players in the room,
Wow.
right? 24 players. You only need 5 people to play the game. As
Right.
only you only need another 3 to come off the bench. You know what I'm saying? All those other
Right.
people, I don't know what you about to do. All those people. So that immediately made sense to me. I'm like, oh, I gotta fight for. It's not over yet. I gotta fight for this spot still. That spot not me. He might have offered me a scholarship, but that's not me still. So we get to camp or whatever. We start doing practices and all that, and I was in a place where I thought everything I did had me prepared for the moment. And when I say I was very underprepared for the moment, was understatement, Gentry. I was not ready for what that school had to offer me, what that team had to offer me. Like I was not ready for it. There was players on that team who are hands down better than me, who are bigger than me, who are stronger than me.
Mm. Elijah, are you there?
24 players, and he broke the 24 players down to 4 teams. He said there's 4 teams that we're gonna break this all down to. The first 5 are the guaranteed starters. So if the season was to start today, these people are guaranteed the starting position. The next 5 was the first people that would be coming off the bench or substitutes for anybody get hurt kind of thing. And these people that would definitely travel when we go travel as a team. The third team was people who were like, oh, you might as well just like, red shirt, take this year off, develop. And, the chances of you playing is probably unlikely. The fourth team was like, I don't know why you at this school. You're like, it's really tough for you to be here right now. I don't even know if there's a space for you on the bus or in the cafeteria with this team right now. Was a fourth team. So I'm like, dang, okay. Yo, tell me why we did what? We did 1 day, 2 days, 3 days of one off court workout. So that would be like running miles and stuff like that. Then we came to an on court where we did like skills and stuff, and then we played. By the time that week was done, I was on 4th team. I was on 4th team. They're like, yo, the coach is like, all right. People looking at me, people who was my friends when I first got there ain't my friends no more. People looking at me like, oh, you don't really belong here. And it was more so not because I didn't have the skill, but more so because I mentally beat myself down because I wasn't as good as I thought I was going to be. The situation wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And not to mention the coaches was like very hard on me at the same time. So all that combined, man, just had me spiral into like this downhill, like this downhill place of like, okay, now I'm on 14. And so what ended up happening was I didn't fold. I wasn't like, this is it for me. I was like, obviously I got to get better. So I basically went to the best dude on the team. I went to the best dude on the team, was like, bro, I'm trying to work out with you. And he's like, yeah, you can work on me, no problem. So me and him just started getting in the gym every day. And I was working out with him every day. And doing his workouts kind of really opened my eyes up to what hard work really was and what it really looked like to work out. You know what I'm saying? Like what I thought I was doing was completely different from what I should have been doing. You know what I'm saying? So like that was the beginning of the end to me, because I was like, that showed me what I needed to do. All you gotta do is show me one time. So he showed me what I needed to do, and then from there I just took off. I ended up telling the coach, like, look, I know I'm on 4th team, but I'm gonna go ahead and redshirt myself, meaning I'm gonna take this year to just develop, and I'm gonna come back next year better. And he's like, you know what, I was gonna do that. I was gonna do that anyway. So I'm happy you you came to that conclusion yourself. But by the end of it, so I'm gonna say we got to like the second semester. By the second semester, half of the team was gone. Like all of those dudes that was there before failed out. They was like partying too much, not prioritizing their grades, and wasn't eligible. Came the second semester, and so by the time second semester came, there was only 11 dudes on the team, counting myself. And so I had proven to be one of the best players on the team by this point in time, because I had like 7 to 8 months to get right, to work out with the team and play with the best player and all that. To the point where the coach was trying to tell me, like, or wanted me to like unredshirt. He's like, look, can you come back? And I'm like, like that's selfish of you to ask me, because if I come back right now, that means I'm only going to play half a season, and that'll count for an entire year of eligibility. So I'm not going to do that. But I'm flattered that you asking me that.
Right.
Flattered that you asking me that. But from there, I just proved to be one of the good players, and to the point where I came back next year, like, okay, I'm ready to go. When I came back the next following year, we got a brand new coach. That coach got fired, and we got a brand new coach, which made things different for me again. It made things different for me again. Mind you, the main reason why I went out there was because of my ex. I wanted to get closer to her. And so she was at Boise State. And so I spent a lot of time out at Boise State when I wasn't in school, and I wasn't playing either. So I wasn't traveling with the team. I wasn't doing any of that stuff. I was just like kind of home by myself or at Boise State with her. So that kind of had me in a place where I wasn't prioritizing again. I was turning up at Boise State. I was going to the football games. I was meeting players. I was making connections, and I was doing way more partying than I was prioritizing. So my grades started to slip, and so I got to the point where I wasn't eligible by like 1 point. Like I needed a 2.0 to be eligible. I had a 1.99 or something like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so I'm like, okay, well, I've been in this situation before. I'll just take summer classes, right? So I went to take summer classes. I told the new coach the situation. I'm like, Coach, look, I wasn't really prioritizing. Bad on me. That's all my fault. But I'm about to take these summer classes right now to become eligible to get right for this following year. And he's like, okay, fine, sounds good. Thank you for telling me. I went to take the summer classes, and long story short, my summer classes didn't even pan out the way I wanted to because I had to get I was all the way on the East Coast trying to take West Coast summer classes, and they wanted me to find a proctor from my school to supervise me when I was taking tests and all the other stuff, and like just the timing just didn't work out. Me getting the proctor and me, so my assignments came in late, and I literally ended up doing worse for myself than if I didn't do anything. So
Gotcha.
I told the coach, I'm like, look, coach, like this is the story, this is the situation. Like I didn't, I tried to do these things, it didn't really pan out. This, that, and the third. Is there any way that I could just come and not play the first half of the season, which is only like 8 games or something like that, and just get right and be eligible for the second half? He says, yes, that's fine. I think that's a good idea. You go take these classes or whatever, pass those classes. If you pass them, then you can play. So, Gentry, this is the point in time where I'm like, all right, I done had too many opportunities. I done had too many opportunities. I can't mess this one up, right? Like this is where it's at. And this time I know what hard work is. I know what I gotta do. I'm at the peak point in my life and my career in terms when it comes to basketball. Coach is looking at me like, yo, once you come back second semester, it's gonna be crazy. The team is looking at me like, yo, I know you come back second semester. It's gonna be crazy once you join us. Like that's where I'm at. So I'm working extra hard. We got 3 a days, 2 a days. I'm working extra hard. Weights at 6 a.m. in the morning. I'm there 5:50. I'm at all my classes early. All that. So we get to the day before the cut day. It's cut day basically. I'm not concerned because I had a conversation with the coach. Coach told me once I get my grades right, we good to go. So we having individual meetings. He pulls up every player individually up to the office, and he's like, "Look, here's the situation with you." Da da da. Then that player leaves. So I'm sitting in the hall like, "All right, he's gonna tell me, I know what your situation is. Just keep sticking around, keep doing what you're doing. Everything's gonna be fine." I get in the office, Gentry. This man has amnesia. He acts like the conversation of us that we had before sometime never occurred.
What?
Never occurred. He's looking at me. This is what he does. I come in the room. I'm happy. I'm like, all right, cool. What's up, coach? He like, yeah. So I'm looking at your grades here. Why don't you tell me about your grades? Why don't you tell me you're not eligible? I'm like, what? Like we had a whole conversation about this multiple times, coach. He like, nah. Like I didn't know nothing about this. You're not eligible to play in the second. You're not eligible to play right now. So like, I don't need you. I'm like, what? I'm like stuck. I'm just stuck. I don't know what to say. He like, yeah. So I'm gonna let you go. But if next year if you want to come back, I'll be salivating at the mouth to have you back. This is his words. I'm like, so I'm stuck. I'm just like, okay. Like in hindsight, I would have went off. Like if myself right now would have been like, what the f- you talking about? You just told me
Right.
you talked about this, that, and the third, but I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. So he's like, yeah, you're not eligible, so I'm gonna let you go. It's not a third. So Gentry, I did so much. Like I did so much to get in that position. You know what I'm saying? I did so much to get in that position right there that broke me. Like that literally broke me. Like I wasn't like the girl that I came over there for didn't work out. We had broke up. So the only thing I had was basketball, and that's the only thing I was banking on. And then that didn't work out. So I was just on the West Coast in my head for no reason.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For no reason. There's literally no reason for me to be there. My mom's helping me pay some rent because I was living off campus and all that stuff. Because my financial aid, I got in trouble with my financial aid because I wasn't eligible. If you can't keep taking out financial aid, if you not have a certain grade point average, because my scholarship only covers so much because I had became ineligible. So it was like all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I had to like overcome to even get to that point. So I was like, man, I was at the lowest point in my life. I literally was at the lowest point in my life. I went. I said, all right, I'm not gonna finish school. I didn't care anymore. I said, I'm not staying here. I'm not gonna stay out in the middle of nowhere and just be here and look at this coach every single day and watch my teammates play games, and like I couldn't do that. So I went home. I was like, I'm going home. I'm going home. So I went home, and it just was even more downhill from there because I wasn't in school. I didn't have any inspiration to play ball anymore. I didn't have no job. I was at my mom's crib. I was back home at my mom's crib. And I was just there, just not doing nothing. Not doing nothing. I ended up like getting into the wrong crowd of people, selling drugs, trying to get money that way. Like, wasn't even hooping, wasn't in the gym now no more at all. And to the point I got arrested. I went to West Virginia to party with one of my friends at the time. He's like, yo, come to West Virginia. It's the #1 party school in the nation type thing. I'm like, all right, you know what I got to lose? I'll go out here, trips on you. He's like, we got to stay at my boy's crib, this, that, and third. Okay, cool. We go out there, Gentry, and I'm telling you, this is perfect timing. Like, this is literally all this had to be the universe being like, yo, you're going the wrong way. This is if you're gonna keep going the wrong way, I'm gonna show you what that looked like. Yeah. Because we came out of a party, right? And this is a party city. Like, it is people partying everywhere. You can literally turn party. People walking down the street, bottles, people turning up. We walked down the street. My boy had some trees. He's like, yo, hold this for me real quick. Yo, I had a jean jacket on. He's like, can you hold this for me real quick? I don't got no pockets. I'm like, okay, no problem. Put it in my pocket. We go walk across the street. Everybody's taking a swig of the bottle. He gives me the bottle. I'm holding the bottle. It's two white boys come running around the corner, like running. I'm like, yo, what y'all running from? They're like, yo, it was a riot around the corner. There was a riot, bro. And as soon as he said it was a riot, cop car comes around the corner like this, and I'm like, ooh. So I kind of cuff the bottle like this, and I'm sitting there, and then the cop car goes, and I see him go, right? So I'm like, all right, cool. Pull the bottle back out. He saw me. I guess he was watching me the whole time from his rear view. Saw me, reverses, and I'm like, ooh. Now I'm sitting there in a group of like 7, 8 people, holding a bottle. Officer reverses, and in my head, you know, I'm from Brooklyn, so the first thing I'm thinking, I should dip, I should run. What's this bottle? Just dip. I know he's coming. I should dip. But something in me told me, don't run. Something was just like, don't run. Don't run. And the West Virginia was kind of like San Diego, where they have hills that go like straight up. Like, it's like, I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know that town. I could have ran to the police department for all that matter. I don't even know where I was going. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, all right, let me listen to my gut. I'm listening to my gut. I'm not going to run. I just stay still. I was like, as a group of us, you know, if I'm going to get in trouble, we all going to get in trouble. It's not going to be just me, right? So he pull up. He goes straight to me. He's like, sir, what you got in your hand? I'm like, I got a bottle. So I show him the bottle. He's like, how old are you? I'm 20 years old. He's like, all right, well, let me see your ID. I'm like, I don't got it. I had my ID, didn't want to show it to him because I had a fake in my wallet, which is the reason why was the reason I got the alcohol in the first place, right? So I'm like, I don't got it, officer. He's like, I know you got your ID. I know you do. I'm like, officer, I'm trying to tell you I don't got it. I'll give you my social security number. You can just look me up. He's like, nah, you got it. And I'm like, sir, I really don't got it. So I'm trying to get upset now. I'm like, I don't got it. You can just look me up. He's like, nah, you got it. That's it. You under arrest. I'm like, what? I'm under arrest? What are you arresting? I didn't do nothing. And he's like, I'm kind of like, I'm not like tussling with him, but I'm kind of just like, yo, like, why are you trying to arrest me type thing? He's like, I need backup. Da, 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 da.
What?
I'm like, all right, you got it. So like he handcuffs me, right? Starts going through my pockets, finds my wallet. Oh, you don't have a wallet, huh? Looks in my wallet, sees the ID. Oh, 2 IDs. Oh, you got a fake. This isn't you. This is you. Okay, puts that on the dash. Goes in my pocket. Boom, finds the weed. He's like, oh, and you got weed on you too, and it's a lot. It looked like enough to distribute. Puts that down. Then what does he find? Oh, I had a pocket knife on me. Right? I had a pocket knife on me. Not because I was trying to hurt nobody, I just had a pocket knife on me. It was one of the ones that you press the button and it comes up. Right, so it was in my pocket, open. I didn't know I was turned, Gentry. I had no clue. I'm having a good time. You know what I'm saying? Having a good time. I wasn't worried about none of that. I ain't trying to hurt nobody. I'm having a good time. Goes in the pocket, pulls it out. It was open. He's like, oh, and it's open. You was trying to stab me? Is what he says. You trying to stab me, huh? Yeah. I'm like, oh, man, puts it on a thing. So now he got me for all this shit, right? Mind you, everybody that was in the circle is just sitting there watching. Nobody else got in trouble. It was literally just me. He didn't say not a damn word to nobody else. So I'm sitting there handcuffed, looking at them like, yo, like I'm giving them eye contact, like, yo, this is wild, yo. Like, why am I the only person over here handcuffed? Why nobody saying nothing for me? Why nobody like? Why is this? Why is this the case? And so basically, he take me to the precinct or whatever, and he's sitting there trying to get everything he can, Gentry. He's trying to get me for everything. He's like, what's the code for having a knife in
Oh
West
my
Virginia?
God.
What's the code for having X amount of marijuana on? Da da da. So I'm just sitting there listening to him talk to this lady on the PA, and she telling him back, "Oh, this is 2 years. This is 3 years. This is some, or whatever code." And so finally, I'm like, "Yo, like, why are you trying to ruin my life, yo? I never got in trouble before this. Like, I've never been in a situation where I had no trouble with the law, and you really making it seem like I'm a real criminal out here because you caught me partying in a party town."
Ugh.
So he got quiet and really say much after that. But then there wasn't gonna be a call, nothing. So I was just like, "Look, can I get a call or something? Like nobody know I'm in here. Can I just call somebody?" So I called my ex and was like, "Yo, can you call my mom, tell her what happened?" And she like, "Okay." So I'm in holding, right? They put me in holding. And they was doing me dirty in West Virginia, Gentry. That's why I'll never go back. West Virginia is not for black people. They was doing me dirty, yo. They had me handcuffed, my wrists to my waist and my
What?
ankles, yo.
Oh my
My
God.
ankles, yo. Handcuffed in there like that, and they put me in a holding cell by myself when they put everybody else who got in trouble in one big tank, one big room. But they put me by myself. And I got in there like 1 a.m. and I had a court hearing at 9 a.m. Right, so I was in there for like just in there for 9 hours, just sitting there. I fall asleep, dozing off, wake up, knock on the glass. Yo, what time is it? 1 hour passed. Fall asleep, knock on the glass. Or I wake up, knock on the glass. What time is it? 1 hour passed. Literally for 9 hours straight. That's what I did. 9 hours straight. Get to the magistrate. I thought she was nice because it was a white lady in there before me, and I'm just listening to her case, and she's like the magistrate's like, look, you got to show up to your court hearing on this day. And the white lady's like, nah, I can't do that. Nah, I got something I gotta do. I can't be there on this day. Can you give me another day? And the magistrate's like, well, maybe I can. How does this sound? I'm like, okay, she's all right. Maybe she cool. That lady was in there because she was waving her gun around at the pool hall. It was registered, but she was waving that joint around. So I'm like, all right, I got a cool magistrate, right? Yo, I pull up to the stand. She don't even look at me. She don't look at me at all. She's doing some paperwork. She puts it in the trash can, gives it to the officer, and is like, make him spit out his gum. I don't even know how she knew I had gum because she didn't even look at me. Make him spit out his gum. I spit out the gum. She's like, false identification, 1 to 2 years in jail. Obstruction of an officer. Dude gave me obstruction because he said I was resisting. Obstruction of an officer, 2 to 5 years in jail. Possession of marijuana under 1 pound or something like that with the intent to distribute, 8 to 10 months in jail. Open container in public, 8 to 10 months in jail. You're facing a total of 5 to 10 years in jail. Your bail is $350,000. You have 30 minutes to to post bond. Boom. Literally within not even 2 minutes. Not even 2 minutes. I was just up there. She said all that 2 minutes, and I'm just sitting there like, yo. So luckily, I get to the phone, and it's crazy how much of a system it is. Like this, all the time, I'm just like, I'm really waking up to the world. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm really like seeing how things work because it was such a system, Gentry. Like they was so ready to put me in there, yo.
Absolutely.
They was
Absolutely.
so ready. So I went to the phone, and dude standing at the phone. I'm like, who are you? He's like, oh, I'm a bail bondsman. Do you need help posting your bail bond? I'm like, oh, all right, isn't that convenient? That you'll be sitting right here. He's like, here's a list of bail bondsmen you could call if you don't have nobody to call. But I'm a bail bondsman myself. I'm like,
man.
yo. So
It's a racket. It's a racket, bro.
yo, it really is. I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't. And even to this day, just talking about it, I still can't believe it.
That's crazy.
Still can't believe it. So I didn't call bail bondsman. I called my mom. I'm like, boom. She like, I know, Blue. I'm on my way. Obviously, she disappointed. Obviously, she upset. She already know what's up. She's like, I'm gonna be there in 10 minutes. Yo, if she wasn't there in 10 minutes, they was putting me on a bus to go to jail.
Wow.
That was it. And then once I got in there, it was it. I would have been in jail. I'd have been it. And she
That's
had to
crazy, man.
get me out. You know what I'm saying? Like it'd have been trying to get me out now versus just paying the bond and make sure I don't go in.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. So your story is, bro. We could write a script about your this whole experience because I think it's interesting how I know to the south of you, you're in Canada now, but I know like in the United States how people when people say Black Lives Matter and Black Lives Matter is talking about police reform, they're like,
Hmm.
what do you mean police
Right,
reform?
right.
Why do we need police reform? What is that about? What are you talking about? The police are doing their job. It's like, yeah, and they're doing their job as it relates to white people. When it turns to a black brother or a brown person,
So much
it's an
different.
entirely
So
different
much different.
situation, and they are looking for opportunities to lock black men up.
Yes.
And it really is. It really is the modern day slavery. That's all it is. It really is. And so, black people, yeah, we're free until we get in some type of legal situation,
Yep.
then we are slaves to this country.
Yep.
It's problematic, so there definitely needs to be police reform. That whole story, bro, is freaking insane. It's freaking insane.
Man, I can't believe it. Every time I tell it, I can't believe it. It be feeling like I'm reliving it for the first time, and I still can't believe it, bro. I still can't believe it. It still feel like a bad dream, something that wasn't supposed to happen, something I couldn't believe I was in. Especially when I was in it, it just felt so real. Like I
That's
knew
crazy,
I
bro.
wasn't supposed to be in the back of a police car. I knew I wasn't supposed to be handcuffed. I knew I wasn't a criminal. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody could tell you that. Anybody you
Right.
talk to that tell you about me and who I am would tell you I'm not a criminal. But it's so easy. As soon as you put me in a jumpsuit, as soon as you put me in some change, it's so easy to sell it, right? It's so
It's
easy
easy.
for it
It's
to look like I belong there. And not don't let me have some tattoos. Don't let me have some long hair. Don't let me have a cruddy
oh
bush
man.
or some dreads, bro. It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. Listen, I'm growing my locks. You better know I'm staying indoors. I got one tat right here. I promise you. So I got locks, and I have that. Oh, I'm done. They gonna throw me on up the river.
Word.
They gonna send me up the
Like, and
river,
it's a
bro.
shame that it even got to be like that to the point where you can't truly be yourself without representing some shit that's not you.
That's
You know
true.
what I'm saying?
That's
Like
real
just
talk.
representation of the bad boy, and it's like, nah, this is just my style. I like my hair. I like dreads
Right.
for the simple
Right.
fact that people don't understand what dreads even mean. Like it's so much discipline to have dreads. It's
You
it's
better
such
know it.
discipline, yo.
Yeah, I promise. It does take discipline because I'm ready to cut all this off right now.
Bro, man, I didn't grew dreads, cut dreads, grew dreads, cut dreads, grew dreads, cut dreads too many times, Gentry. Too many times.
Dog, I'm ready to cut it off right now. So let's fast forward. Let's fast forward to how you got in Canada. So you're in Canada now. That's
Mhm.
where you reside.
Yeah.
So what are you doing there now in Canada?
So I can't even tell this story without mentioning my wife, yo. There's no way because she really came through at a time when I was at my lowest, bro, and my
That's
it
what's
showed
up.
me an entire different perspective. Like she really is like she really built me up because at the time I was done. Like after all that stuff happened, I was over everything. And so she like I literally met her through social media and it went from like just flirting on there to talking to Skype for 6 months, and then finding out that her biological family is in Philadelphia because she is adopted, and so she lived in Canada at the time, was adopted from Philadelphia, and so I'm talking to her. Like, it just opened my eyes up to the fact that even Canada existed over the United States. I knew about Toronto, but most Americans, especially most Black uh, African Americans, don't know nothing about Canada, and it's like right above us. And so I was just surprised and amazed by all the stuff that I didn't know of another country right above us. And so once I learned that all that stuff, that it was a west coast of Canada, and that there was all these other parts, a middle, and all that, that's when I found out that I could still play. Because in the United States, my years of eligibility was over. Like college for me was over. Even though I only played those 8 games of that college season, my clock was ticking. Like my years of eligibility was going. So after all that, West Virginia and all that stuff was going, like I was like, oh, it's definitely OV for me now. Ain't nobody gonna pick me. I got a record now. Like nobody's gonna, especially for one year. And so I found out that in Canada you get 5 years to play. You get 5 years no matter what. So you could be 35 and have never played college ball, and you can come here and play 5 years.
Wow.
And so that was man, that was enough for me. That was enough. I was like, I could still play. There's still a chance.
And so you're in Canada now, right? You know, Eli, do I have you still there? No worries. But I think I said so. There's always a silver lining to every story. I think this is dope. Elijah is now playing pro ball in Canada through all the stuff that he's going through in his life, from all that crazy stuff, and that's just a testament to life. Life is life is similar to a cycle. Um, you just go through this journey and you stay as positive as you can. You stay as optimistic as you can. You keep your grind tight. You keep your grind on point. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it's never a matter of if. It's only a matter of time. So if I can say that to anybody on this live today, I would say that it's never a matter of if. It's only a matter of time. And if you can hone in and maximize all these opportunities that you have that's sitting right in front of you, I'm telling you, you can become one, the best version of you that's possible. And I'm telling you, it is that best version of you uh, that as you are constantly evolving, I can't say that enough. It's so important that we embrace evolution. It's so interesting. Everything around us constantly evolves. You think about it. If you look outside, you think about technology. From the '90s, we didn't have cell phones. We had home phones. Hey, what's up? And now we're in the 2000s, and now we see this, the cell phone technology sort of kind of develop right before our eyes, and to the place we're at. I got two, three phones right now that I can stay in contact with the world. Everything around us is constantly evolving. The one thing that is hemorrhage, I feel like, is human beings. We don't see the value in upgrading us. Even though we upgrade everything around us, we upgrade our clothes, we upgrade our phones, we upgrade technology, we upgrade everything, but we neglect to upgrade us. And so I will say to you that there is a 2.0 version of you that you just have to embrace and acknowledge that, oh, I too am in need of an upgrade. And when you realize that you too are in grade, that you are due an upgrade, you begin to take the necessary steps to ensure that you are becoming the best version of you that's possible. And I'm telling you, the world does not change without you. The world does not change without you. The world, I'm saying that repetitive for a reason. The world does not change without you. The world does not change without you. The world does not change without you changing, because that's how it starts, right? It starts with you realizing that, wait a minute, there are some growth spurs that'll do me. I have to constantly develop me. I have to constantly become the best version of me that's possible, so that I can make sure that I am changing my individual world. And as I'm changing my individual world, then that makes me sort of kind of an expert then on changing the world around me. It change only starts with you. And so I can appreciate your story, Eli, on so many levels, man, because I'm seeing your evolution. I'm seeing you evolve. And so you're in Canada, you're playing ball there, but you're also an entrepreneur. So I want to talk about those entrepreneur efforts that you have as well. So talk to me about, who is Eli, the entrepreneur?
My entrepreneur spirit rose out of the game of basketball because I found myself spending a lot of money on Nike, or spending a lot of money
See?
on gear, spending a lot of money on that stuff, and so I'm like, yo, there's got to be a way, and it really was inspired by that big baller brand. Once I seen LeVar do that, that really inspired me. I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
if this dude can just go and get his own shoes made, if he can just go do this, then that means I could do it too. And I could go do my own stuff, get my own gear made. So that kind of inspired me to do it myself. So I just started like making my own hoop stuff. So like, just regular basketball gear, like just shorts, shirt, socks, that kind of stuff. And I just start wearing it around, just wearing it around in town and go pulling up to gyms and more so because I liked it for myself, but I wanted to see what people thought of it too. And so when I put up to the gyms, people be like, "Oh, like what shorts are those? Or what brand is that?" And I'll be like, "Oh, this is my brand. It's Sevenfold Sport." And like, "Oh, you got your own brand?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm in the process of sampling my stuff, seeing how I want things to go, and doing styles and that kind of thing." And they're like, "Okay, well that's dope, bro. I like your brand. Like I like the way it looked." And so I just did that to keep getting feedback. I did it enough to try to get feedback to the point where I could see what people liked and what they didn't like. And so I started this business called Sevenfold Sport, and it just started from a logo. Like I was sitting in class one day, and
Wow.
the college that I went to was a Bible college, and the teacher was like, God, I forgot the exact line, but he was like, God did something sevenfold, and I'm like, sevenfold? What
That's
does that
dope,
mean?
bro.
What does that mean, right? So I just look it up, and it's like sevenfold just means 7 times as many or as great. And I'm like, oh, I believe 7 is the perfect number. 7 is my number. It's like it was all these things aligning to it, and I was like, that would be a perfect name for my brand, Sevenfold Sport, and that's how it became.
So you have a website that you have a website where you are promoting your stuff? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now,
Yeah, I'm relaunching in the new year though. So in the new year, I'm redoing a relaunch with some like updated stuff. But yes, I do have a website, sevenfoldsport.com.
definitely go and check out sevenfoldsports.com, and then Elijah, I want to have you back, man, when you launch your new website, so we can start promoting your new gear.
Okay, cool.
That's important. I believe in that. I have a website. I have some t-shirts and hoodies and caps and all that stuff as well. For my clothing line, it's L3G Urban Wear, and it stands for Love Life, Love God.
Mm.
Love Life, Love God. L3GUrbanwear.com is where people can go and get hoodies. Like right now, you can get t-shirts. You can get t-shirts with ideas that I have for t-shirts and brands or whatever that I design. Go check that out. And then I want to have Eli back so we can talk about his brand as well. And as of right now, tell us the website again, Eli, that people can go and check out your stuff.
Yeah, it is sevenfoldsport.com. So 7 SEVEN fold FOLD sport SPORT.com.
Got it. Sevenfold Sport. Is that what you
Yep.
said?
Yep. Sevenfold Sport.
Sevenfoldsport.com. Hey man, listen, this was a dope live, bro. This was a dope live. I enjoyed one, connecting with you. I enjoyed one, two, hearing about your story. I think it's a dope story, and I'm telling you, bro, it's a script in there, bro. It's a script in there.
And it's still
It's,
going. And it's still
bro,
going.
it's a script in there. So tell us about the team that you're playing for in Canada.
The team I'm playing for in Canada is called the Fraser Valley Bandits. It's in the Canada Elite Basketball League. The league is literally 2 years old. Like it just started, and so I was fortunate enough to get my foot in the door in the first year of it, and then from there I had the opportunity to go to France, but because of COVID, I wasn't able to go.
That COVID is so disrespectful.
Man, man,
I could listen, bro. I call it Thug Rona. I'm telling you, Thug Rona is disrespectful, bro. Um, I know I've had several plans. I had a couple tours that I was working on for this coming year that had to obviously be postponed because of Thug Rona.
right.
But bro, I appreciate you continuing your grind, King. I appreciate that that you're constantly making moves and making impacts in this realm that nobody can erase because there will never be another Elijah Blue. So I appreciate you
Man.
maximizing all that is you. And so I just appreciate it. I wanted to have you on this live because I believe in you. I believe in your talent. I definitely, like I said, even I said to you before, I think that you're 100% marketable, bro. And so I'm just happy for you. I'm happy for what your future holds. I'm happy for your right now. I'm even excited about your past because your past made you who you are today. And so I'm excited about all those things that made you who you are, that we get a chance to see, that we get a chance like, oh man, that's Eli. And so, bro, I just appreciate you. I appreciate you taking the time to chop up with me on my podcast. I just appreciate it. I really do.
Man, likewise. Likewise, you Trey. Giving me having the ability or just being in a space where I can share my story, I feel like is beneficial to more than myself. So I'm big on trying to make the load lighter for other people. I want
Absolutely.
to make the load lighter for other people because of all the hardships that I had to go through. So that's like one of my main things, and I feel like it's one of my biggest purposes here on Earth is to make the load lighter for other people through my experience.
So, our last question before we get off here:
Mhm.
what would you say to someone that aspires to play basketball and want to go to the pros one day? All that stuff. COVID-19 has changed all of that in a strange way. But what would you say to someone that aspires to go down the path that you have journeyed? And now you have a lot of wisdom and wealth experience and life experience that you can share with someone. What would you say to someone that aspires to do what you're doing right now?
Absolutely. I would definitely say that the biggest thing that's kept me going forward and what I could tell somebody else is that you should always have the end goal in mind. And it's really with anything, even if it's not with hoops particularly, but I mean it works in so many different ways. With anything you want to do, is always keep the end goal in mind because if you always have the end goal in mind and you keep working towards that every single day, you can't ever lose. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you get into a space where you like where your end goal is not your end goal, where you're second guessing your end goal, and you feel like you might not want to be, then it's going to be easy to lose because during your A to B, so many things are going to happen in between that. So many unpredictable things. Like
Unpredictables.
you just that's just life. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be able to predict things going south or things going good. You just do what you can and hope for the best. So if you keep that in mind, when you do get down, when things do happen, it won't be as detrimental because you know at the end of the day that situation or that moment doesn't define who you are as a person. It's only something you're going through. So not being defined by your current situation or not being defined by teammates or people or other things that don't align with what you want to do, I feel like will be the best thing that anybody who wants to be a pro hooper, anybody wants to be a lawyer, anybody wants to be a doctor, anybody wants to be anything can do. Just don't be defined by circumstances and define yourself by what it is that you feel like your purpose and your passion is, which also should align with your goal.
I think that's beautiful, man. So I think so. That's the life lesson for today. Define yourself by the end game vision. So if your aspiration is to be a baller, if your aspiration is to be a baller and a boss, because like Eli's proof positive, you can do both. You can play ball, but you can also be a boss. You can run your own company, you can run your own business, and not just business, but businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely possible. You got to keep that end game always at the forefront. As long as the end game stays at the forefront, you realize that whatever comes to you in the form of a challenge is just that. It's just a challenge. And guess what? Believe it or not, it's just temporary. It is a temporary circumstance. It is a temporary lesson that we have to learn. And that's what life is all about. We're all in life class. We have to learn these life lessons that come before us because I'm telling you, as we learn these life lessons from the different life challenges that we have every day, as we get in position, we now then have wisdom. So it's just like a test. When you take the test and you pass it, you literally never have to go through that test again. The challenge is while we're taking these life class, these tests that we get, these tests or these trials in life, we get so frustrated, we get woe is me that we fail these tests. And guess what? It's a cycle.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have to go right back through that thing again until we learn the lesson that God is ultimately, or the universe is trying to ultimately teach us so that one, we can have the life experience, the life lesson again. Again, as you go through a thing and you become better, you got life experience. You not know, I'm a life coach to right now. People pay me for life experience. You get that? People pay me for life experience. That's not a negative. People pay me for life experience. They're paying me for my life experience, for the things that I've gone through, but why not just gone through, but gone through and learned the lesson from. So
Mm,
I'm telling you that your life has value. Everything that you're going through, everything that you've gone through, it is important that you learn whatever lesson that God or the universe is trying to teach you. Because as you learn the lesson, as you really learn it, you become an expert now. And now you can teach people, I've seen that before. Don't do this, don't do that. Move this way, move like this. And I'm telling you, your life definitely has value. Everything that you're going through is valuable. So don't take it for granted. There's a lesson always. There's a blessing even more always.
mm-hmm.
So embrace the lessons, and then you'll be ready to receive the blessings. Does that make sense? That makes
Amen.
perfect sense to me.
Amen.
So, Eli, man, thank you so much, man. Our time is far spent. I'm actually late. I'm actually late for my lip sync challenge that I have. That I'm about that I've scheduled for this week. But dude, this has been so worth it. So much great information. Your story is dope, bro. I appreciate you being transparent and sharing your story with us, man. It's been definitely inspirational. And so, those of you that are watching and those of you that will watch it, I hope you guys are grabbing from these levels of inspiration. And then follow Elijah, follow him on IG, follow him on Twitter. Go to his website. It's strolling at the bottom of the screen. Sevenfoldsports.com. Go and check out his gear. Buy some of his stuff. Support my brother. He's a black man. He's a king. He's doing great things in his community. And bro, I just appreciate you carving out time on your Tuesday to hang out with me. I appreciate it. I just appreciate it, bro.
Hey, likewise, Trey. Well, I ain't gonna hold you up no more, man. It's been an honor and a pleasure to be on your podcast, man. I can't wait till the next time I get to be on here again.
Dude, is one and done. So when you get ready, when you get everything done with your website, come back and let us know that you got you got you got new stuff there that you want to promote, bruh. This is always an open platform that you can come and check out and chill. Cause we family. This is Charlie Tubbs, aka Gentray. This is my boy right over here. Let me go the other way. My boy right over here, Elijah. Eli Blue, please follow him on all the social media outlets. He's a dope soul. He's a dope creative. He's an artist. He's an artist in his own right. He designs, he does video, he does edits. And the boy is a killer. He has a killer jump shot. I'm telling you, it's worth money. I'm telling you. The boy has a killer jump shot. And, bro, I'm just happy that we got a chance to connect. And I'm glad we got a chance to do this podcast, bro.
Absolutely, man. Well, Trey, you have a blessed night, bro.
Hey, everybody, listen, we'll see you guys next week. We'll probably do another podcast this Thursday. But until then, I want you guys to stay positive. It's so important that you stay positive in spite of everything that's going on in the world system. Stay positive, stay creative, and most importantly, guys, I want you to stay clear. We'll see you next time. Take care.